Hello HVAC, this is Tim Peterson, your friendly Schneider Electric controls technician. Today we're going to talk about trending in structureware and just some of the basics of trending and how to get in and look at different trends and manipulate them a little bit. Obviously, first thing you want to do is go ahead and log in to structureware. And when you get into structureware, obviously we're going to want to go to a specific building for this. Today I have decided that we're going to go to the Estes Center and look at some of the trends there. So click on servers, and then once you click on servers, we'll click into the Estes Center. And once you got down inside the Estes Center automation server, you're going to want to go to the trends folder. And once we're inside of the trends folder, we're going to go ahead and go to the air handler folder. What you'll do is you'll see all these little symbols that look like an unrolling scroll. You're going to want to go down to where you see a chart. A chart is this little symbol, this little square with a little graph on it. And the one that we're going to look at today on the air handler, let's go ahead and look at the temperatures on this specific unit. Give it a second to populate when you click on it. Be patient. Sometimes it takes a minute for it to collect all the information and data that you need for the trend system. So first and foremost, as you scroll through this data, you can see there's a lot of information right here, and this may need to be, changed a little bit, or we need to manipulate that. Just know as you hover over it, though, you can point your mouse at any one of the given points on the graph, and it will actually tell you what the particular one that you're pointing at is and what the value is, as well as if you look down towards the bottom of the screen, it also gives you a timestamp. You can see right here this trend is pretty long. We're trending, this is September 14th and this is September 21st, and so in a minute we'll go ahead and change the perspective on that. But just know, if you've got all those different pieces of information and all those different temperatures, you can click down here in the colored area and it will actually pop up a little key that shows you the colors that's associated with each one of the different trends. You can eliminate all the trends if you want to just look at a specific one. You can eliminate all of them, or you can just bring each one of them in at a time so that you can see specific things of what's going on. This is the discharge temperature, and when it's changing, here's our mixed air temperature as well as the preheat air temperature with the return air, and then we have our discharge temperature as well. And just right off the bat, as we get in here and look at this, we can tell that we've had some pretty low temperatures coming out of this. I'm not exactly sure if that is a function of, I know that the DX has been acting up over there, but some of these temperatures I believe are probably a little bit too low to be just a temperature sensor acting up. So that's something that we can look at with the building tech. So just backtracking a little bit, when we came in here, you can look at the bottom and you can see that we're moving from September 14th to September 21st. If you ever want to change the perspective of that, there's these buttons across the top here that change the perspective. If you click this, it will go to an hour perspective. So basically, what if the temperature's been within the last hour? The next one is a day. So if you want to click that, that is the past 24 hours and how that unit has been doing. And then there's a week perspective, and then there's a month perspective. So if you're looking into free stat trips or different things like that, you can come to this page. You can also do a year if you want to, but most of the buildings here, we do not retain that much information on a specific building. So let's just go back to the 24-hour period and kind of look at this. I've showed you a few different things about how to make certain things appear and disappear. And if this would be a good time for you to take a screen capture if you need. You can also do things like select that, and in this perspective it doesn't do a very good job, but you can click that and it will show you a tag on that particular timestamp across all the different temperatures, but you can see that several of them are so close that it doesn't give you a very good perspective, and so in this case it's probably going to be easier to do this. So that is basically how to get in, how to manipulate, how to move in and move out of a trend. If you get all, blanked out and you can't see anything and you're clear off here and no man's land and you want to know how to get back, you just hit that little button right there, and that will actually take you back to a full perspective of the whole entire trend. You can see this one goes from today, obviously, right now, and it's still holding and retaining information back from August 10th. So that should give you a kind of just a brief idea of how to get into these trends, to look at them, to separate out different pieces, and just analyze the overall functionality of the unit. Hopefully this has been helpful for you, and look for our other videos. We'll talk about, this is an air handler. We're going to talk about some VAV trends as well, and a couple different videos to help you guys out. Thank you for your time, and have a nice day. Hello HVAC, this is Tim Peterson again, and we are going to do one more type of trending in structural wear. The first one we did covered more of your mechanical systems and air handlers and everything that resides inside of the automation server folder structure. However, there's also a lot of trending that has to do with VAVs inside of the system. So for this one, we're going to go to, let's go to RCDE. And sometimes you're going to be in like a floor plan graphic or something like that, and you're going to want to look at some trends. And so how to access that in the majority or on the majority of VAV systems in StructureWare, you'll go to the floor plan layout like this first floor at RCDE. You'll go ahead and click on one of the rooms, and you'll see this throughout StructureWare in a lot of the different systems, and that is a little symbol like this. And even when you hover over it, it says trend data. So once you get into here, just go ahead and click on that. You'll see that the trend is already there in place, and it looks like it's got several hours worth of, there's probably 6 or so hours there worth of data. And this one is scaled just a little bit differently. As I showed you in the air handler one, all you do is you click on this color key down here, and it shows you that you have a damper, space set point, space temperature, and supply air temperature. Also included with some boxes will be the hot water valve. But you'll also notice in this one that over here on this right hand side, there's also these two boxes down here. And if you click on those are actually CFM and CFM set point. The reason those two are located on different side of the trend is because the axis over here is a different scale, because you can see this runs from 0 up to about 1400, and this one over here only runs from 0 to 100, because if you scaled the temperatures and valve position and damper position on all together, then that would be really small and it would be really hard to read. So this way it allows you to not only see the lower values, or the 0 to 100 or 120, whatever it is, but it also allows you to see the CFMs, because they're going to, more often than not, they're going to be much higher than any of the temperatures that you have, or the lower numbers. So just as we talked about yesterday, and I showed you, you can manipulate these. Sometimes I have a hard time figuring out where that actual line is, so I'll just click it on and off real quick so you can see it disappear, and then you can kind of tell what's going on there, and you can see that your CFM in that box varies quite a bit, but you can tell that the set point versus the actual, it actually tracks it pretty good most of the time. Right here, when it drops off, you can tell that that box and the air handler in that building is shutting down at night. It looks like it's shut down, let's see here, about 12 o'clock last night. And then it came back on this morning at about 4:17 a.m. Or its trend would be a little different, but that one's covering over the top of that one when you look at it. But this is how you look at a VAV trend that are accessible through floor plan layout when you're going, you click click on that box here, or the room 109, and you go in and you find this little symbol right here. On different projects and different buildings throughout campus, you'll notice that that is a very common symbol that you will see, especially on the newer stuff or the stuff that we do in-house. That's the way we signify that there's some type of a trend associated with that point. And just as we did yesterday, you can change from an hour perspective or the past hour. You can see exactly what it's doing. You can see that the supply air temperature in this particular one increased from 60 degrees up to 75. And you can just hover over each one of these and see exactly what's going on as far as damper position and your airflow. And you can click on the day, you can click on a week. For energy efficiency stuff that Zach often has us look at, this is a really good indicator to make sure that the unit is shutting off at night and not remaining on all night. And right here you can see the pattern. Today is Wednesday. You can tell that this section right here is Tuesday, this is Monday, this is the weekend, and it was off. Looks like it bumped on for just a minute here, and then you can tell this was, or there's a modified schedule probably on Saturday, and then here's Friday, Thursday, so on and so forth. The month perspective of these gets a little bit clouded, but still you can see the pattern of it shutting down each night and on the weekends. Just as a good indicator, if those lines were just solid across here with no dips, you would know that that unit is running 24/7, and so something needs to be addressed. Also, you have a little bit longer trends, which that's not very helpful. For some reason, it looks like the space set point is being trended for quite a lengthy time on this device. Not necessarily very helpful. Just keep in mind when you click on those, sometimes it takes a minute for all the data to populate. And remember, if you need to ever look at the key or you want to see what the different colors mean, you just click on either set of colored boxes in the bottom left hand corner or the bottom right hand corner, and it will give you an indicator of what that is. That's all I have for now. Let us know if you have any questions on trending and either air handlers, mechanical system, or VAVs. Thank you. Have a good day.